Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And you really need to pay attention to this one. This is hugely important. I'm going to say that on effectively the first actual day of business within the House of Commons today, Rachel Reeves has laid out her intention to utterly destroy Britain's rental housing market. The actions she's laid out, the prospectus that she has, will decimate it. She will create homelessness like never before seen. Landlords up and down the country will sell their properties, and they'll sell them quickly and exit the entire sector. This will help nobody. Anyone who needs to rent because they can never afford a mortgage, or they're not in the position to get a mortgage, or for various other personal reasons, won't buy a house, will find it nigh on impossible ever to put a roof over their head under this Labour government and their innate stupidity. The politics of envy has started already, and the damage will be probably unfixable forever. It is that dangerous what they've done. Now I'm going to read the proposals, and we'll go through them. There's half a dozen proposed, seven proposals. All of them are sheer lunacy. Some of them we've talked about before on the channel, especially when we're talking about the Scottish housing market and seeing how bad it is there. And what Labour are proposing is, hey, it was really bad in Scotland. Let's do it again, only let's make it even worse. Let's go in harder to make sure that nobody who needs to rent can ever find a home. I suspect, before we do this, I will suspect that there'll be people today already contacting estate agents and putting rental properties up for market and tossing tenants out. Even good tenants will be thrown out because of what this entails. But we'll take a look. There's a whole raft of measures. Now, prior to the election, Labour said it would get rid of Section 21 evictions on day one. Well, it's day two, and they've done just that. But they've gone further. There's going to be a total ban on no-fault evictions. They're going to introduce rent caps. Now, we've just talked about this before. Every time rent caps come in, it fails. The people who suffer are the tenants. Rachel Reeves has said many times before she favours this. Even when it's been explained to her how bad it is, she's of the opinion, yes, but that's when other people do it. When I do it, it's bound to work. No, Rachel, it's bound to fail. And this one, she wants to ban landlords from selling their properties in the first 2 years of a new tenancy. Currently, I think it's 6 months. Excuse me. Which means if a tenant moves in and then circumstances change and you need emergency, you wait 6 months, you can evict the tenant in order to sell the property for whatever that emergency is. Now you've got to keep him there for 2 years. Now, this is another reason for selling up. People will want to ensure that should they need money at a quick, turnover, they can access it. She wants to force landlords to move in a family member for at least the first 2 years of a tenancy, and currently they only have to wait 6 months. So if you say currently you're allowed to tell a tenant to leave because you need the property for a family member, that family member only has to live there for 6 months. They want to make it 2 years. Again, you're tying people up. Landlords could be forced to offer their property to sale to the tenant instead of evicting them, including a reduction in price for rent paid. Why would anyone agree to this? If you want to sell an asset, you've got to sell it for the best possible price, not be forced to reduce your price artificially because someone happened to live there. They've got to apply, and this is the kicker, they've got to apply the highly controversial hardship test, which allows courts to refuse a possession order if it will cause greater hardship to the tenant than the landlord. I mean, you can guess who benefits from that one. So, yeah, it's hardship. If I get made homeless, I'll have nowhere to live, and that's a hardship. I won't make you homeless then. Don't think non-payment of rent is an issue here. They want to abolish persistent rent arrears as a reason for eviction, which is currently used when a tenant falls into 2 months of arrears at least 3 times. So, don't pay your rent, it doesn't matter. I'm not allowed to evict you. What do you think is going to happen there? Now, I think there's no prize for guessing what's going to happen. As I say, landlords up and down the country are going to start flogging these properties, removing rental properties from the sector. There'll be fewer and fewer rental properties, which means more and more people who can't buy a home are chasing fewer and fewer rental properties. What do you think is going to happen to the rental price? It's going to price people out. And where are they going to go? Are Labour magically building hundreds of thousands of houses? Well, no, they say they are. But their 300,000 houses a year, 250,000 of them have been earmarked for migrants, or immigrants as we like to call them, leaving only 50,000 houses for everyone else. At a time when literally hundreds of thousands of people will be made unemployed. Not unemployed, homeless. You're going to have people dossing in doorways, families living in cars. And why? Because a moron has won an election on 20% of the electorate, and they think that destroying ambition, destroying the provision of a home, of a sector that homes people, is a good idea. How much money are they putting in to social housing? How long will it take for these social houses to be built? Where are the homeless going to live for the next 5 years until all these social houses are built? Labour do everything arse end forward, don't they? Rather than building the social houses first and then changing everything, they change it all first because of their strange virtuousness of conviction. Oh, look at us. We hate landlords. Let's eradicate landlords. Well done. You're going to do that. 35 years I worked in the industry. We built and we rented out, commercial as well as domestic. We were good landlords. Nobody will get into that game anymore because don't worry, not only are you driving landlords out, but you're going to stop people who think, I might invest in a house from investing and building a house and taking it up. You know, buying a falling apart shack of a house, doing it up, renting it out. That happens a lot. Not anymore. Nobody's going to touch them. Can't get their money back. It's madness. But then, of course, it's socialism, isn't it? Politics of envy, meaning hundreds of thousands of people have to pay the price for the cause of socialism. That price being children sleeping under bridges. Well done, Rachel Reeves, you stupid bint. Thanks a lot. Bye.